Today, Monday, 12th of May, 2025. Today's EON brand is brought to you by my favorite league, my favorite player, LeBron James. And I just want to say about like it came out obviously on the game, and you're gonna say, well, you don't understand context. Well, if you saw a 10-minute context about it, he kind of I get the context of it when he says, well, people say me and Luca lose. I don't lose sleep over it because they're either guys on the floor. No, you could say I didn't lose sleep over it because we move on in life and you're gonna win and lose games, and that's how life works. Welcome to life. Life is like that. This is how this shit works. You win, you lose, you gotta move on in the losses, or you learn from it, whatever, you move on. Or I'm older now and I can't dwell on it. I gotta move on. But you say there are eight other guys. Like we don't have a good team. See, I told you he was gonna do this. Listen to me on the last time I spoke about after being excited that they lost. But he sit here, he blames teammates. He goes, I need a playmaker a year after you won the freaking championship. Oh, you need to go back to back, blah, 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 blah. And like, hold on a minute. Aren't you good enough? You said you're the greatest player of all time. If you're the greatest player of all time, you just need a little bit of help. You are the help. And you say, well, there are eight other guys on the floor. Well, dang it, game 5, you lost because of you. You said you played 5 positions on the floor. You got dominated by Rudy Gobert on shots and air balls and rotation. The guys, they're throwing it up to you. You're just one supposed to be good. If you say you're good, we weren't asking you to guard Anthony Edwards every play at 40 years old. You say, well, he's 40 years old. Well, we're not asking him to guard Anthony Edwards because you weren't guarding him. You weren't guarding McDaniels. You weren't guarding even Mike Conley. You weren't guarding. Julius Randle, he was guarding sometimes. You were guarding Rudy Gobert, who most people say cannot score the ball. But he was scoring. He looked like Akeem Olajuwon. Okay? He looked like Shaq. Because every time he got every rebound, he's just dunking. He dunked on your head. All of your heads. And maybe most of all, he dunked on your head. Most of the time. I get it. He dunks without jumping. But you're supposed to be the good one. Every single time, it's the stupidest argument. And then he goes all the time, ever since he left the first stint in Cleveland, it's like, oh, imagine if I played in, with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Imagine I had another guy who won the USA team. Yeah, I leave the game. Imagine I played with this guy or Carlos Boozer. Remember that speech in 2008? What excuse we got now? Well, you play with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. You're 2-2 in the finals. Specifically the Dallas one, you admit it. Okay, that was a bad loss. But ever since then, it's like, dude, this guy Kawhi Leonard, even though you were good at times, you had good spurts in that series against San Antonio. Dude, you're losing. Chris Bosh was 4 for 4 in a perfect game, and you weren't giving him the ball. Dude, you got your butt kicked by like this 12 points a game, dude. Let's be real here. And then I'll give you the next year against Golden State. I didn't think that was your problem, but like Kevin Durant, you were the one that's supposed to be the greatest player of all time. You're the one that's supposed to guard him. You were the problem. It was supposed to be a 4-4 game, and KD and you were supposed to shut each other out. Let's be honest. You were supposed to wipe each other off, but you didn't. And you're gonna say, well, he always says I average a triple-double. Look at me. Well, you average a triple-double because you look at the statistics. Well, if you watch those games, you got your ass kicked. Everybody knows it. And the next year, after game 1, you quit. You keep doing this, and you keep saying, well, what if I had a big guy? What if I had a real center like Anthony Davis? Well, you did. And what did you do? You didn't win. You didn't dominate the league like that. And then you have a Luka Doncic, and you say, I want to play with Luka one day. Well, you play with Luka. You say the other 8 guys? No. When you say that, it's like out of context, he's saying that. There's a whole team, there's a whole game. Well, let me say this about basketball. Basketball, you are the main part of the game if you're that good. Everyone knows it. Nobody has to be a basketball genius to figure that out in any time. And throughout your career, you've been like that. It's like, I had, there are 8 other guys, we didn't have enough in 2011. Now in 2011, you didn't have enough. I saw that mind the games, like, we didn't do enough. We didn't have enough. No, you had enough. You didn't do enough. And specifically you. Okay? You have been the guy that didn't do enough in wins and losses, except for maybe that Golden State one. But every time you lost, you've been the criticism. Every time you won, you've been the compliment. That's how it works. Welcome to how it is. And he said, "Well, Michael, they ain't got that credit." Yeah, he did. Against Detroit, he did. He was getting beaten up. He wasn't tough enough. People said, like, is he getting over the hump? He's got to get over the hump. People said that. He got over the hump. He went 6 for 6 after that. People said against Orlando, he didn't have the powers anymore. People really thought that about him. Does anybody know that? No. Nah, because he won 3 straight and he didn't cry about it. That's what it is. It went along. He didn't. When he loses games, he understood like he was part of the loss. And that's the problem with this guy. It's like he's never accountability. Always everybody else's fault. That team that kisses his ass, the coach says championship shape. Well, JJ Redick, what championship shape are you talking about? As Robert Horry says, you know about it. You know about championship shape. Well, you played in the finals, but you have led your team to the finals. Oh, okay, right, okay, because the guy that was not in championship shape that you're talking about was not in championship shape, quote unquote, and he made the finals, and he led his team to the finals. Okay, it's just like this whole thing about this narrative of like, well, there are 8 other guys. It's not just me and him. It's like, yeah, we know that. We're not here to cry about that, but and then the same thing. I'm gonna say this about that. Like, he always cries about everybody else, and I'll say this about Mitchell Robinson. But I don't care about my daughter in basketball. Mitch, I get it. You were doing it. You said you were doing it as a joke. Mitch, you obviously care. You care what people say because you put the middle finger out. You care what people say because you put a video of it like that. You don't care. If you don't care, which I'm going to say I don't care. When I say I don't care, it's context. It's like a phrase. When he says he doesn't care, you obviously do care. And you said it 100 times. I only care about 2 things in my life. Dude, why do you care about the comments? Because you're going at it with the comments. These basketball players, they care as just as much as me and you. They are so sensitive as much as me and you, and they take classes about sensitivity. And you keep doing this. I mean, yes, you're not a good free throw shooter. That's who you are. That's Mitchell Robinson throughout his career. He can't shoot 3 throws. Okay. He's a good defensive player. He's a presence. He can catch lobs. He can get rebounds. Belongs in the league. He's a nice player to have. Nothing special. He's not the best. He's not the worst. And that's who he is. That's what we got. He's a shot blocker at the rim. If you drive, cool. He can't shoot foul shots. Like, you're not the first and last, nor the last to ever that are ever gonna do that. It's not gonna. It's not. That's how it is. But when you say you don't care, you care. All you guys care. And let me say that the only reason why the Knicks, at the same time, you've helped them in this series, are only up. Not only up to one, why they won those games by a small amount of margin, is because of your foul shooting. But at the same time, part of the reason why they won those games because of your rebounding. So it was a 22 or whatever you call it. It was pros and cons to everybody. Okay, that's how it works. That's how it works in life. And I get it. Jalen Brunson, he's short and he's going to shoot shots, he's going to miss shots, but that part of his greatness, he's going to make it. And you take it. You take the good and the bad with anybody. I don't care who it is. LeBron James to your franchise? Yeah, you take Clutch Sports. You take Clutch Sports taking over your franchise, but the tickets are going to go up and you're going to win games because he's really that good. But you're going to have a coach every 2 or 3 years and get fired and pretend it was nothing to do with them. Okay, you're right. That's just how it is. But Mitchell Robinson, don't pretend you don't care. You care. You care. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day and see you all soon.